Fox News contributor and retired Marine bomb technician Joey Jones joins us now. Joey, we've been reporting on this story all weekend long. It seems to be escalating little by little. What is your take on what's happening in Ukraine and the role for America in this?
You know, as a Marine sitting here watching the show yesterday and seeing what was happening, you know, as you guys had peers on the show, and one of our very own is getting literally mortared. It got personal for me real quick. I mean, all I could think about were my friends in Afghanistan when I was there. Now that's a colleague over there being mortared, and for what purpose? What is our role in this? Our role in this was the last several years. We've really dropped the ball, and that really bothers me because now the goal is what? To keep Russia out of Ukraine, to keep American troops out of Ukraine. What is our goal? And my biggest fear, which is what looks like what's coming to fruition, is the idea of a proxy war that we sustain because, Pete, you would know our track record on that isn't very good.
No, it's not. But you're right. Every action we've taken over the last number of years has effectively sent signals to Vladimir Putin that if he acts, especially the previous administration with Crimea and everything, you take this, there's no consequences. Yet are we looking at the beginning of a wider proxy war, not just with Russia, but with the communist Chinese who appear to be working hand in glove? So if it's Eastern Ukraine, that's one thing, but it could also be Taiwan. Where's next?
You know, I think most conservatives view this as let's not get into another war. Let's protect our blood and treasure for us. That's our biggest problem right now. We have a southern border we're not taking care of. We have an economy that's fallen to shambles for no good reason. We have a potential energy crisis because of this. And so we sit back and we go, why isn't President Biden doing more? Why isn't he using sanctions? Well, I think the answer to that is he knows sanctions won't work at this point. So that makes me go, what is the diplomatic strategy here? If he knows sanctions won't work, and he doesn't believe anything else is going to work, and it looks like Europe isn't really doing much here either. Maybe they're nowhere near as concerned as we are. It certainly looks that way. What does work? And have we just literally failed at this? And that's, I'd hate to take two L's when it comes to foreign policy and defense strategy within one calendar year, but it certainly starts to look that way.
Yeah, you add to that the Biden administration's estimation that there is an inevitability of a Russian invasion. So it is going to happen according to the Biden administration.
That's what they say.
And yet no sanctions. Perhaps because of, to your point, that will be a certain loss. It won't have a deterrent effect. Joey, back to that conservative tension really quickly. I just want to get you on this. Both you and Pete have sacrificed in various ways to protect this democracy, this freedom. And as you look at American interest, there's that tension. What does Ukraine have to do with our interest? However, you brought up the Chinese, Pete. Joey, does it concern you? The Chinese look at this, they see weakness, and then they see opportunity. Maybe in Taiwan, maybe somewhere else. But they don't just see the Ukraine, they see other parts of the globe.
You know, the frustration for me is that every 18 to 22-year-old serving in our military believes they're invincible and are standing ready to fight whoever they need to fight. And we can't find a government leader to honor that sacrifice in this country. In 2022, with all we've been through for the last 20 years, we can't find an administration that can handle these things to where our blood and treasure isn't what is always on the line and seeming to be the most easily expendable resource. You know, Piers Morgan was on yesterday, and I've got nothing against him, but I'd love to have a talk with him about the Second Amendment. But outside of that,
by the way.
Yeah, you guys did great. But he sat here and he didn't mean it in any way, but he said, I'm sure Americans are a little war weary. And I wish I would have been sitting on this set when he said that, because I would have said a little war weary is not losing your legs in Afghanistan. It's not losing your son in Afghanistan. We have done this for 20 years, and we couldn't find a win in that country. That's bothersome to me when I look at what we're doing moving forward in Ukraine or with China or Taiwan or what might be a large and capable conventional military.
You're right, though. It's not that the scorecard matters, but if our whole goal here was deterrence, and then Vladimir Putin moves, that's a loss for us.
I believe in diplomacy, but I want to see it be effective.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, and our leaders lie to us. I mean, last 2 years, we saw them lie to us about everything, about the situation in Afghanistan, about COVID, and now they're saying, trust us, we know they're going to invade, and we don't know what they're going to do with our troops if that happens. So much uncertainty, but you're right. It's real people, real lives on the line.
Well, let me say, I pray that President Biden makes the right call. I'll be happy to cheer for him in 3 or 4 days if this goes away. And I say that on live TV.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.